3 months, 40 pages, perfect diagrams. Leadership loved it. Then it destroyed the project. I spent 3 months creating what I thought was the perfect strategic vision document. Every methodology box checked, beautiful roadmaps, comprehensive stakeholder analysis, the kind of document that gets prized in architecture review meetings. But here's what actually happened. Nobody could use it. The technical teams found it too abstract. The business stakeholders found it too technical. It got filled away, perfectly formatted, completely ignored. If your strategic documents are getting prized in meetings but ignored during implementation, you are exactly where I was. I'm Yanis, solution architect working on national scale government systems. When strategic vision fails, transformation projects die before implementation even starts. Here's what is at stake. I wrote documents nobody read for 2 years. 2 years of career momentum spent creating beautiful documentation that had zero impact on actual transformation outcomes. By the end of this video, you will know how to create strategic vision documents that stakeholders actually reference during decision making instead of filling away after meetings. The breaking point came during a government transformation engagement. 4 development teams needed to gain operational autonomy. Platform team needed to evolve from coordination bottleneck to enablement capability, complete organizational transformation in 6 months. If you are a developer, you know the frustration of strategic documents that give you zero guidance for actual technical decisions. If you are an architect, you know the challenge of creating documents that breach technical complexity with business value. If you are a manager, you know the pain of funding transformations based on documents nobody can translate into actionable outcomes. The problem was not the quality of my documentation. The problem was the language. Ministry level stakeholders spoke regulatory compliance and business continuity. Platform management spoke operational stability and security requirements. Development teams spoke autonomy and reduced operational burden. Individual developers spoke clear technical direction and tool support. Same transformation, 4 different conversations happening in parallel. Everyone reading the same document, nobody understanding what it meant for their world. But here's where it gets interesting. The problem was not what I thought. I was optimizing for precision when I should have been optimizing for translation. I call this the vision translation rule. Technical architects speak architecture language. Business stakeholders speak value language. Strategic vision documents must translate systematically between both languages, not choose just one. Think about diplomatic interpreters at international negotiations. They are not just swapping words between languages, they are translating intent, context, cultural meaning. When a Japanese negotiator makes an indirect statement, the interpreter captures what they actually mean, not just what they literally said. That is what strategic vision documents need to do: translate architectural intent into stakeholder value language. Everything changed when I realized that the translation work is the architectural work. 4 sections: executive summary for business value and strategic alignment, current state analysis for technical foundation, implementation roadmap for timeline and resource requirements. If you are an architect, this looks like a standard documentation structure. In practice, each section becomes a translation layer that lets different stakeholder groups read the same transformation in their own terms. That leads to the practical question. How do you actually translate between architecture language and value language? Current state was like a traffic controller at a four-way intersection. Every decision flows through one person. Every team needs permission, works but cannot scale. Platform team coordination bottleneck. Think about writing a legal contract in pure legal terminology and expecting engineers to implement it, or creating technical specifications and expecting executives to find them based on architecture elegance alone. Target state was autonomous teams operating within strategic domain boundaries. Platform team evolution from coordination to enablement. 80% faster decision making through shared understanding. 60% reduction in stakeholder alignment meetings. If you are a manager, those outcomes translate to predictable delivery timelines and reduced coordination overhead costs. 4 strategic principles that actually guided decisions. Modularity for team independence with clear domain boundaries. Interoperability for enterprise coherence through standardized interfaces. Security for regulatory compliance across autonomous teams. Agility for rapid business change through architectural flexibility. The framework gave us the structure for articulating principles. Transformation methodology gave us the operational model for implementing them. The combination is what worked. Framework alone would have been theoretical documentation. Methodology alone would have lacked the stakeholder alignment that made transformation politically possible. The breakthrough element was the stakeholder impact analysis. Who benefits and who accepts new responsibilities. No hidden assumptions, no technical complexity without business justification, no business benefits without implementation reality. If you want to apply the vision translation rule in your situation, you can start very small. 1 page listing who speaks what language. 1 sentence describing what each group cares about most. 1 example of how technical decisions affect their world. That is enough to start translating without any fancy frameworks. Six months later, the numbers told the story. 80% faster decision making through shared understanding, 60% reduction in stakeholder alignment meetings, teams operating autonomously without strategic domain boundaries. Platform teams successfully evolved from coordination bottleneck to enablement capability. Ministry stakeholders stopped asking for status updates every week. Platform management gained predictable capacity planning. Development teams gained technical decision autonomy within strategic boundaries. Individual developers gained clear technical direction and tool support. But the communication breakthrough was realizing that stakeholder alignment conversations are not interruptions to architecture work. They are the architecture work. But here's the deeper learning that changed how I think about strategic documentation entirely. Perfect technical documents are useless if stakeholders cannot connect them to their world. Architecture vision documents are translation tools first, technical specification second. Getting stakeholders aligned on shared vision is harder than technical design and more valuable. The vision translation rule played out in practice through systematic stakeholder impact analysis. Every architectural decision included explicit translation into stakeholder value language. No technical complexity without business justification, no business benefits without implementation reality. Remember the vision translation rule: translate between languages. Do not choose one. Strategic vision documents must bridge architectural language and value language systematically. At first, I thought precision matters most. I was wrong. Translation matters most. And honestly, accepting that my beautiful technical documentation was useless without stakeholder translation was harder than learning any architectural framework. And here's your next step. Think of one strategic document you created that got filled away instead of referenced. That is your personal architecture vision challenge. Tomorrow, choose one transformation challenge and apply the 4-section structure: current state analysis, target state vision, strategic principles, stakeholder impact analysis. Take 2 hours with stakeholder input. You will know it works when stakeholders stop asking what exactly are we doing and why, and comment with the transformation you proposed and which stakeholder group could not understand it. I will share a specific translation template for that audience. No theoretical examples, real stakeholder confusion only. I'm Yanis, sharing experience from national scale government systems transformations. Your stakeholder challenges are unique, but translation methodology remains remarkably consistent. Take what works for you and leave what does not.